Be prepared. I'm going to ramble like hell in this one. This Mike plays with toys. What do we got here? This is actually a reshoot video because I completely screwed up the first version. But what do I have? I have a 1983 MASH figure of Hawkeye Pierce. Yes, from Tristar, which though was a movie company, but apparently they made action figures too in the great year of 1983. But if you're going to get a MASH figure, get the main guy. Get Alda. Hell yeah. Alright, Mike, you really like to collect weird action figures, don't you? What the hell brought you into buying this action figure? Because Tower Heist was on HBO, and he was the bad guy. And it got me thinking of Alan Alda's, Bill Hader's impression of Alan Alda, Saturday Night Live. And then that led me into thinking of these action figures from a million years ago, which I always wanted. Even though I never really watched the TV show. Because it was always on at the end of the day's reruns, right before the news. And after What's Happening and Different Strokes and all the other good, I'd say more kid-friendly reruns. Then they'd throw this thing on. It was like a war show, but there was no battles in it. It was just, you know, kind of adult comedy, which was kind of boring to me when I was a little kid. But I remember the figures and the playset in like the Sears catalog, and I thought that was sweet. Sears catalog had the 4077 playset. Did I get that right? It had like a big play mat and had like all the little tents. So that would have been sweet to have with your G.I. Joes. But let's get into the figure. Look at me, now I belong part of Mike's action figure collection, and I'm really ecstatic about it. It's just really wonderful stuff. I really just wanted to do this video so I can do that impression, as bad as it is, but you gotta watch Tower Heist, because he was a son of a bitch in that movie. Ben Stiller got him back, though. Well, I didn't know about this figure, because I never actually saw one in person, because I got this on eBay. I think I paid like $10. There's a rubber band inside of him, and it's super loose for being, 38 years old at this point. And looks like they were trying to experiment back in the day with, action figure construction, which I didn't really understand, because I know they had vehicles for him to sit down in, but he doesn't really sit so well. His legs kind of flare out like that, like Zorro and your typical Lone Ranger figure there. But he wasn't going to be riding any horses. I don't know why they didn't have... They're going to have a rubber band in. Why don't they just do it like the original Mego ones, which later G.I. Joe kind of stole. But you had the bend at the arms and stuff like that. And it is curious that they did put a rubber band in there that, you can't even replace. There's no screw in the back for them. But, I don't think they were thinking 40 years later, man-children would still be playing with their toys because these were disposable. But they gotta imagine some kid would twist them and do the helicopter thing with his legs. But he's just gonna sit on my shelf. He ain't gonna do anything. There's no way to get that rubber band out if it's some sort of weird construction anyway. So I'm not gonna mess with him. Really, what kind of leg position is that? That fits nothing. There's no playability on there. If I happen to find any more of these MASH figures out in the wild, I will pick some up, but I won't pay much for them. One of the more valuable ones they have is Klinger, where he's all dressed up in a dress. And I don't know if he was doing that to get kicked out of the army, or he was the first transgender character on TV or something like that. Like I said, I never really watched the show. Just about every other video I make is about 3 3/4 inch figures, so of course, I'm getting a MASH figure. Especially the coolest character on MASH, Mr. Alan Alda himself. What little kid doesn't want, an Emmy Award-winning actor? Also starred in Ordinary People, and I think he was in Ordinary People, wasn't he? Make fun of that now, but then, they got Funko Pops of any damn TV show ever, and makes, you know, a Mork figure less ridiculous. The likeness on his face is like insane. Looks just like him. Let's get a closer look at him. There's the inside with that rubber band or whatever it's supposed to be, like hanging on by a thread. If that breaks, I would have wasted my $12 on this. We don't want that to happen. For all these figures they made back in the day, it seemed kind of ridiculous to do such random TV shows like MASH. But then, we had Mork. We also had the Dukes of Hazzard, Battlestar Galactica, A-Team. Hey look, Dirk Benedict. There he is with Murdoch. A-Team. A-Team. Battlestar Galactica. Same guy. Is this Dirk Benedict or is this the other guy? I don't know. You got, you know, Lone Ranger, Zorro's nemesis. Do a whole battle of the network stars here. Because you got Mr. William Shatner. You can go up against Alan Alda there and pole vaulting or something. I don't know. Whatever they did in Battle of Network Stars. Harrison Ford, he was too big of a star. But they could you could substitute Mego Superman as Christopher Reeve. The biggest star ever, Mr. Robin Williams. He was just a TV actor at the time. This is actually the cartoon Flash Gordon, but hell no. I'm using this as Mr. Sam J. Jones. And then they could all fight the Empire. Now that's playing. That's toy playing back in the day. Mike, how come you haven't made a video about the Mego Dukes of Hazzard figures before? Well, I made one about die-cast General Lee car, and I kind of made fun of the Confederate flag in there and taunted them. And I got a whole lot of hate messages of that video, so I don't want to go through that crap again. I'd like some Chips figures for Mego too, but they're kind of pricey. And I have not watched that show in probably 35 years, and if I did now, it would probably stink. You know, they also had like Love Boat figures and stuff, so wish they kind of kept that trend going. Now they do Funko Pops, and you know, they have Jefferson's Funko Pops, which I thought was kind of awesome, even though I don't like Funko Pops. But how about if they kept this trend up? Mego lasted a few more years, and they did like a Night Court action figures, and they had a little courtroom playset, and you'd have Bull, and you have Dan, and Harry, and then you could have bring out them C.B. McCall figures again, and use the villains as people for Harry to throw in jail. So that would have been a cool action figure. Maybe Roz also. Yeah, MASH was probably like the #1 show at the time, and I don't think there's a real good reason beyond that to try and translate it into an action figure. I mean, they even had an Atari game. There are so many action figures left from the early 80s still unexplored by me, so it's kind of like a never-ending journey to collect them all. I'll never have all of them.